next speaker is going to be Her Excellency Mrs. FRIENESH MEKURIA from the Environment of Ethiopia. So please join me in welcoming Ms. FRIENESH MEKURIA.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Excellency Dr. Yaundi from Africa CDC. Excellency Dr. Ishetulema from Addis Ababa City Administration. Excellency Evan Barlibu, Green Clean Africa GCA. Distinguished guests, government officials, representative of private sectors, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the government of Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, I would like to express my gratitude to the organizers, and also I welcome all of you for this important annual environment show. Ladies and gentlemen, tackling environmental problems is one of the biggest challenges of our time. Creating a clean and healthy environment is both a prerequisite for and an aim to achieving sustainable development goals globally. This, however, requires the active participation of all stakeholders, including government and the private sector. Environmental challenge, mainly climate change, is having a growing impact on the African continent, hitting the most vulnerable, hardest, and contributing to food insecurity, population displacement, and stress on water resources. Increased weather and climate vulnerability is disrupting lives and economics of Africa. According to the recent estimate, reveals that by 2030, up to 118 million extremely poor people on the continent will be exposed to drought, flood, and extreme heat, which will hinder progress towards poverty alleviation and growth. In sub-Saharan Africa, only climate change could further lower gross domestic product, GDP, by up to 3% by 2050, and this presents a serious challenge for climate adaptation and resilient action, because not only are physical conditions getting worse, but also the number of people being affected is increasing. This situation is similar when it comes to my country, which has a high degree of vulnerability to hydrometeorological hazards and natural disaster dependence on sectors that are climate change sensitive, such as rain-fed agriculture, water, tourism, and forest, as well as poverty, are the main factors that exacerbate the country's vulnerability. It is topographic diversity and the sensitivity of some segments of the population to climate change make it additionally vulnerable. Primarily, projections suggest that climate change can have a sizable impact that ranges in the order of 7 to 8% of GDP loss per year, with strong impact in latter decades and on the poor. Ethiopia's contribution to the global GHG emission is negligible, estimated at 0.04%. However, Ethiopia's policy response to climate change has progressively evolved since the ratification of the UNFCCC in 1994 and in 2021. Ethiopia updated its nationally thermal contribution under the Paris Agreement, and the government announced ambitious emission cuts and other commitments, including reduce emission by 68% by 2030 and reforest and restore up to 15 million hectares. Over the years, Ethiopia has been implementing various programs within these policy frameworks. One among them, and by far the most consequential, has been the Green Legacy Initiative, rooted in a vision of building a green and climate resilient Ethiopia. The Green Legacy Initiative was launched in June 2019. A target of planting 20 billion seedlings within a period of 4 years was set for the first phase. By the 4th year of the first phase, Ethiopia has succeeded in planting 25 billion seedlings, and as we see from the exhibition, 7 billion in the first year of second phase. It's totally about 32 billion. By mobilizing more than 20 million citizens of the nation, and this is a part of long-term commitment to a multi-phased response to the impact of climate change and environmental degradation, and has immense contribution to Ethiopia's efforts to meet its international commitments, such as the Paris Climate Change Agreement, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, and Agenda 2063, the Africa we want. Ladies and gentlemen, while Africa has contributed negligibly to the changing climate, with just about 2 to 3% of global emissions, it stands out disproportionately as the most vulnerable region in the world. This vulnerability is driven by the prevailing low levels of socio-economic growth in the continent. While climate change is global, the poor are disproportionately vulnerable to its effects. This is because they lack the resource to afford goods and services they need to better themselves and recover from the worst of the changing climate effects. The African Annual Environment Show encourages individuals and organizations to participate in the momentum created by the Paris Climate Accord. This unique platform would help to bring government and non-governmental organizations to address relevant environmental issues under one roof, and provides an opportunity to advance action on the 3 planetary crisis action as per the outcome of the ministerial meeting, which was held in Addis Ababa, August 2023. Despite the change, Africa, we have an opportunity and big role we can play to overcome the triple planetary crisis the world is facing, the effort of our people, the effort of the young generation. We have spent more than 65% on cultivated land, and of course our leadership. Your leadership as a government and private business will play a significant role and bring integrated solution, equitable global multilateralism, mutual benefited partnership, equitable financial and technological transfer for Africa's needs. Our support and leadership is always with you. The time is now, and let us do our best together for prosperous, integrated, and better Africa. I thank you.